What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon link. If you click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is try it. And I recommend movies and music for me to review. Now, with that being said, we are here with a special guest. Tell them what your name is, sir.
Del Boy from Movie Mash, extraordinaire, billionaire, great looking guy, all that, everything above. Davey from the 80s is my friend.
I thought you were going to say great looking hair.
But yeah, thanks and hello everyone. Yeah, I love movies. I've got my own channel, so check it out, Movie Mash. But just want to recommend Davey from the 80s channel. Cinema Chop Shop is really good, by the way. And if you're a subscriber, you already know. If you're not, you should be one. Exactly. Anyway, go.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
I know. Go mine first, though.
But
anyway, hit me with it.
Yeah. So what we're doing today is we're going to break down the ending for Saint Maud. Now, for those of you guys that have seen this movie, then you know that this is one of those A24 movies. It's a horror movie, and it's one of the movies that the ending might confuse some people. So me and my friend Del Boy are here to try to lighten the load and help you guys out to understand what the ending really means. Now, I'm gonna give my interpretation of the ending, and then you can tell me if you agree or disagree, or if you have something else. Because I know that people might interpret this ending in two ways. They're either going to say, A, she really had these damn superpowers, and she was like, I don't know, like Superwoman or whatever, and she was embedded with these powers from a higher divine being, or B, she was crazy the whole time, and none of that really happened. So I'm gonna go with B. I think that this whole time she was crazy, and that she was imagining these things. When she was dealing with that woman, the one that was a demon, and she put the holy water on her forehead. Because at first, I don't know if you noticed it, when she put the holy water on her forehead, and you heard that tss, I was like, why did it burn? I thought maybe she had acid or something. What did you catch that scene when she put the holy water on her forehead?
I remember. I don't remember the noise that makes, but what I do remember the jump. That actually. I was like, oh shit, this film just got really good. Do you know? I just thought, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. But no, I didn't get the noise. No, but then if there was a noise, that still could have been her imagination, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I caught it, and I was like, when she put the water, on her, and she's like stop, and like I was just wondering, like, did it just make a sizzling sound, like when she touched her forehead? So
didn't hear it.
We had that part, and then obviously the next thing that comes is it turns out that she was a demon. I think that was her mind justifying that this woman wasn't going to convert and do what she needed to do. So if she wasn't going to do it, she wasn't going to come to God, then therefore she must be a demon. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, the way she acted throughout the film, like we'll say, like she was in her sex life, we were like, she had some dude around earlier on, which was a bit weird. Then she had the girl, like obviously lesbian stuff was going, but she was a prostitute, so she was all that. So Maud didn't kind of agree with what was going on, so saw her as a bit of a different kind of a person. So in her head, this
like
person really needed saving. So as you said, she felt she probably couldn't save her in the end, and she was the demon. Now, I will say that I loved that part, was really good. I didn't see that coming. I was, whoa, shit. And the voice was all, because actually, I will say this. Do you remember the bit where she said to her, oh, you felt it? And she goes, well, actually, I didn't feel it. You know, I was kind of playing along with you.
Yeah.
She goes, there is no God. There is nothing. And do you remember she started crying? Like, and I was thinking, first thing that went through my head as well, that convinced you, that convinced you quite quick. And then the woman said, that was easy. And exactly what I was just thinking. You were convinced that there's no God real quick. But as I said, there is ways you can interpret it. I mean, I think it was done cleverly in that way through the whole film. Like, and what threw it was, do you know when the lady earlier on was pretending she could feel that God message from God, or that shutter down her spine or whatever it was? And I think she was playing along, or she imagined that happened. You know, I think she was playing along with her, like, she was a bit, but first half of the film, for first act of the film, I was engaged. I actually thought it was pretty decent. I was really interested in what was going on. Second act, but then second act, the sex thing and all that, that was all a bit crazy. What was she doing there? What
I
was her
think
plan?
I think that was her like
Punishing herself or something?
not even punishing herself. It was just her like straying away from like basically she felt that okay, I'm going to do God's bidding and God's work. And then basically when she got fired, she was like, well, this must all be a lie. He doesn't care about me. So I'm gonna just go back into my old lifestyle. Because
So
the
she's
way that it was,
defying him.
yeah, so if the way it was hinted at with her friend, the supposed friend, it seemed like she was kind of like, you know, like she had kind of a different lifestyle before she ran into her again. Like she was like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
changed a lot," you know. So I think that was her, yeah, like you said, defying God and like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna live my life and I'm gonna be whatever that I want to be. But then you get the glimpse of it, how socially awkward she is, how just like she doesn't fit into society at all. Like she's sitting there at that table and the people are laughing and she's like, and
I know.
she's like trying to fit in and you're just like, dude, did you really think that would work? Like, in what world would somebody sitting next to you
No,
randomly starts laughing? Would they be like, "Oh, you found that funny too? Come sit with us. Come on, come pull up a chair." Just
I know. Yeah, yeah. Join in. I know, but do you know? Obviously, it hinted at something had happened in the nursing home or wherever she worked previous to that with the others. Something happened. We don't know. It didn't quite. I wish they kind of give us more of a hint what happened, but whatever it was quite bad. I felt it was maybe a kind of a sexual assault. Maybe
you
I
think? I
don't
feel like
know.
I felt like she felt responsible for losing a patient. That's what I think. Because she had that dream where she was trying to she was trying to resuscitate the guy, and she cracked his chest, and she was sitting
Yeah,
on top
maybe.
of that. That's when she was having sex with the fat dude.
Yeah, but on another hand, is like she should be used to stuff like that, so that shouldn't really be in a shouldn't. I mean,
I mean,
nothing's ever nice like that, but
if that was the first person that she lost and that she couldn't save, then you know, some people just handle things
I'm
differently. You know, like she
I'm
probably took it to heart.
just not. I'm not just. I wish they kind of just maybe a little
Just
bit
told
more
you.
elaborated on that.
Yeah,
You
I think
know?
so because I think that the way that it ended, they never really tell you why
No.
she was fired from the other job or left the other job or whatever. Because I think she said that there was a scandal or something afterwards. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
another thing,
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, you're
so
right.
remember at the
It's
beginning of the movie when she's sitting and she has bloody hands? There's like a
yeah.
roach on the wall.
It's
I wonder what that was about because they never really, that can't be the end of the movie. So maybe she fell into a dark place at the beginning of the movie and then her getting that job kind of like livened her up again.
yeah. Maybe she's like kind of a schizophrenic or she's really depressed and that kind of brings the light and I don't know. It's confusing in a good way, but there was no payoff with that. We didn't really get to know. What was it like? Do you see the bit when she was levitating?
Yeah.
Again, that's her imagination. And do you remember the devil? Well, I thought for a minute it was Satan talking to her. You remember she heard
Yeah,
someone
that
say,
deep
"You
voice.
know
I'm
it."
talking in
I
like
was like,
Latin.
okay, that don't sound like godly sound. You know, it's more of a Satan kind of a sound.
You know, I imagine like
And
The Simpsons. I bring you peace.
yeah, do you remember the bit when her friend came around again the second time to her little flat home, wherever she lived, and I thought something was going to happen there. I thought she was going to kill her, throw acid in her face or something. Did you feel that?
I thought so. So she did have this. Was that acid or was that like or was that lighter like the lighter fluid that she had at the end of the movie?
Yeah, yeah. I just felt she was going to throw that on her and set her on. I
Because there
had that
was,
feel that was
I
going on there. You
swear it
know?
was something that she had that looked like acid, and I thought that's what she
Yeah,
put in that bottle, and that's why it burned when she touched
yeah.
that lady's forehead. That's what I
Maybe.
thought. I thought that she had
But
some sort of chemical acid, and the reason that it burned when she touched her forehead is because it was
but
acid.
again, it wasn't quite clear if it was. You know, but as I say, like getting towards the end now, she started wearing some kind of Mary type monk type
You're supposed to be like a
thing.
saint garb. Bless you.
Yeah, with the big rosary
Yeah.
crucifix type thing. You know, again, it was well acted. I reckon. Like my hat's off to all of them. They were all pretty decent. And the fairground, do you know where she was working in that beach, like
Coney
seaside?
Islands, the Coney Island.
Yeah, that was that's Skegness. That's up north. I haven't been there, but
I was going to ask you about that because I know you're from the UK, so I was wondering, like,
yeah, I've
where
not been there. I've spoken to someone recently who has been there quite a few times. But let me tell you, it was very dingy and dull looking there. But actually, it's a really nice place. I haven't been there, but it's actually supposed to be really nice looking there. But they've really made it dingy. Apparently, over the years, there have been loads of crackheads moved down there for some reason. And do you remember that guy that was sitting on the corner telling people to fuck off if they didn't
yeah,
give him some change? I was like,
the
punch
beggar.
him. You on about? But yeah, I don't know what that was about either.
Yeah, I
But
don't
she
know. She was like,
whispered,
"God
"God
bless
bless you."
you."
Yeah, I don't know what that got to do with the film, but all right. But at the end, towards the end, like when she had the angel wings, all right, you know what? We're not sure. Maybe she has. Maybe
I
you
think the
know. And
biggest telltale sign that she was imagining this whole time is that when it flickers, like when she sets herself on fire and it briefly flickers to her screaming and being burned.
that was it. That was
Yeah,
it. I knew then. That was it.
yeah,
That's when I knew. Right. Even if that didn't happen and she was standing there, I would have ended the film being unsure of was she imagining it. But that second, that last little, not even a second long, when she was screaming and burning, I knew that she was imagining it. That was it. I
yeah.
mean, that was it. I mean, people might think differently, but that was it. Because when she was on fire at first, she was all smiling and wings were coming out, and in her head,
And
she
then
was a
people were
saint or
bowing
whatever.
to her.
Yeah, yeah. And the next scene, it shows her screaming, and it was quite brutal. I mean, it was whoa, that was pretty rough looking, you know.
Yeah.
Um, when she killed that woman, I thought that was pretty good. I have to say that was probably the highlight for me. One of, you know, when she jumped up, I was like, oh shit. But again, as we said before, it's a good film. Payoff was,
Not good enough. It wasn't
yeah,
good enough. The payoff wasn't. Look, if you're going to make a movie that's a slow burn, as this,
yeah,
I think you're going to have to leave breadcrumbs throughout the film. I don't think it's enough for people to say for everything good to happen at the end of the movie. Like you're already going to tune out. You get what I'm saying? So you have
yeah.
to leave little breadcrumbs, little things to keep people engaged in order to keep them invested in the movie. Because there's
That's
times in
it.
the movie where I checked out where I'm like, damn, like okay, like I don't feel for this movie as I did with Hereditary. You know, like I'm kind of checking out. I'm trying my hardest to like this movie, and it just wasn't doing it for me. Like, and it drove me mad. Like that, I was just like, man, like I really want to like this movie, but it's not doing it for me. And like you said to me, you said there's a good movie in here somewhere, but
There
it's just
was.
like they just weren't able to bring it out. And I'm honestly thinking that it just was like they did a bad job at storytelling. What do you think it is?
I think the storytelling was all right. It just, and they, I think they wanted to try. I just think it could have just lacked that little punch. What I was saying is the second act. I understand maybe it needed on the film, as you say, maybe she was, as we said, defying God and all that, but it went on too long, and I started to drift. That all that second act with in the bar, all that, I started drifting. You just got all right, okay, you know. Third act, it had the first act was good. The third act felt like there was right, the potential was good. And when the mouth opened and that woman screamed, I was like, yeah. And then it just that was it. Stabbed her. That was it. We didn't even see the consequences of that. I thought, right, no, the demon let her kill her, so now she's going to be in big trouble and all that. No, wasn't that at all. I was like, okay. Again, there's not much more you can say about this movie. We've said as much as you can say, like, but you have to make up your own mind. Was it real? Was it not?
People are
But that
calling this
last scene, that
People
was
are
it.
calling this a classic. Like they're saying that they're giving it nines.
Really?
They're calling it they're giving it 9 out of 10s and 10s out of
I've
10s.
not heard that. Really?
Yep, a lot of
Like, I don't want to sound like I'm a superhero kind of guy who loves these popcorn films, because I like all movies and I appreciate even all kinds. You know, ones I like this. I mean, this is my kind of movie along with other. So I don't want to be, oh, he doesn't like that kind of thing, because I do. So, and yourself, and so I want to give it a chance, and I did. And I would nearly watch it again with someone who wanted to see it. I don't think I'd watch it myself again, but I understand they tried. Just that lacked that little punch towards the end, you know.
Wasn't enough. And it's
Part of me
because
thinks,
Maud is such a good character. Her character is
part of
really
me
good.
wonders, should they have put that last scene in where she was burning, because it would have ended with you not knowing still.
Nah, they had to. They had to. That honestly made it worth talking about. That okay, she was tripping the whole time then, right? It made it
Yeah.
worth talking about. If they didn't add that in, you would have been like, man, that was a stupid damn movie. And then you would have just kind of just been like, okay, everything would have been like kind of like guesses. We can have a discussion and a dialogue of what we think could be happening, right? But I think them putting that in there, I guess it gave it, because if you don't put that in there, then the argument is going to be one-sided. Okay, she wasn't tripping. She really was this, I don't know, divine being. Because
I still wasn't sure.
yeah, I mean,
I still wasn't
I'm pretty
sure.
sure that she's tripping because they hint at her having some sort of breakdown after whatever happened at the hospital. They hint that she's socially awkward and she doesn't fit in. They hint at like all of these problems with her and like how she just doesn't fit in. Even like, come on, her social issues are so bad that she doesn't see when somebody's faking to get in. Like that's easy. That was easy. Well, yeah, because she's not socially adept. She doesn't know how to blend in. She doesn't know how to fit in society. So of course she's gonna get fooled easy because she doesn't know how human beings work. So she was so out of place, so out of society that she had to go to her religious beliefs in order to find comfort because she felt like that was the only thing that comforted her and let her be who she is, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to people who are seriously religious, like, you know, but I do know people who have turned to religion because of things that have happened in their life. I mean, you could go both ways. Some people are, no, I'm out. And then, so I kind of do understand. I've seen it. I understand. Yes, traumatic stuff has happened to her. Sad and lonely. Her only friend is God, and her mission is he's chosen her to do certain things. Also had that Carrie feel where her mum might have been like Carrie's mum in the field, you know, like, you know, put her in the cupboard
I
and
got
all that.
Carrie vibes from this. Yes, I did. I got that too.
Yeah, she could have been locked in the cupboard like Carrie and made to pray all day to whatever. But again, like,
Yeah, this would make a dope. Like seriously, if Carrie had a universe, like what they were hinting at, like I think in the book they make it seem like there's more than one person. Like this power isn't like solely in one person. That I guess like more than one person has it in the book, and I think that would be dope to kind of add that to this universe. That'll be cool. Like have her in the
yeah,
Carrie universe, because like I said, Maud is a really cool character. I love the character of Maud. I love the idea of this movie. I just didn't like the movie. Like their execution.
you were looking forward to this for a while,
Man,
weren't you?
I'm telling you, when I was looking forward to this. I was honestly thinking about getting a freaking region-free Blu-ray player just to order the steelbook
Ouch.
off of Zavi, and sort of to buy this shit.
Yeah, we spoke about that. I was going to see if I could get it for you. That's how much you wanted it. I was like, all right, let me try and get it for you.
Because I thought it was going to be good. I really did. But then I had to tell myself, like, hey, Davey, this is the A24 flick. You have to be careful. These things can be hit or miss. So you have to really go into this and watch it. And secretly, we were going to go watch it at a drive-in. And then, like, I didn't feel good that day. So we ended up just, we found another way to watch it. So we watched it. And then at the end, I was
I like the way you said that.
Right? And I was just so we just found another way to watch it. Shout out to the homie Flash. We watched it, and at the end, my wife is just like, "Aren't you glad we didn't pay to see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm glad I kept that money in my pocket because I would have been really disappointed." Sometimes I feel like when I pay for movies, I feel obligated to like them more than I really do. But like, you know, seeing this for free, free 99, I'm like,
Oh, that's the problem with being a movie reviewer. You've got to watch what you've got to watch, and sometimes they're not always good, you know. And unfortunately, no, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It
it's
just
better than
lacked that
Midsummer.
little.
I say it's better than Midsummer. And it's better than The Witch, in my opinion. I can see myself watching this again.
I don't know. I like The Witch. I didn't love it.
Nah,
I just like The Witch a bit more than this.
no, no,
Um,
no.
I went into this watching. I went in blind with this. I mean, I see a little bit of. I think you showed me something, and I see a bit of a God, Jesus, and devil type feel about it. But I don't even know it was British when I went in. I was just like, oh right, Skegness. Um, it's up northeast of England. But as I say, I was like, all right, brilliant. So I can relate to its home. But the acting was good, but I was like, so it's sometimes it's good to go into a movie when you don't know. Sometimes it's going in blind. It's brilliant. Engaged, unengaged, starting to get engaged again, let down. But again, it's a good film. I don't want to knock it completely.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's good. I'm not gonna go that far. It's mediocre at
It was
best.
good.
It's
Yeah.
mediocre
Okay.
at best.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you know that there's people that compare this to saying that it gives them Rosemary's Baby, and Exorcist
No,
vibe? There's
I
people that
only
say
know
that
what you've told me, and I've only know what I've seen. I haven't read any reviews. I haven't heard. Nobody I know have heard
this
about this
movie
film.
is exactly like Midsummer. Either you love it or you hate it. There's no in between, right? That's what I'm noticing. Either people
I
love it
don't
or they
know.
hate it.
How can you? I just don't see what they. I
But
understand.
and the
I
people
don't
that love
know.
it give it really high scores. I'm talking nines and tens. Like they give it real high scores.
Maybe they're just talking about the acting because I thought the acting was pretty
Dude, the
solid.
acting is amazing. The characters was
Yeah,
amazing. The freaking score was amazing. The cinematography was amazing. This movie had a lot
yeah,
of amazing elements. It's just that
yeah.
they could not make it work. I don't know what it was about this film, and it just didn't work.
Are you talking about other YouTubers or actual
I'm talking about like literally
Rotten
like
Tomatoes,
both.
tomatoes?
Let's do it like that. Both. I've seen YouTubers love this movie. I've seen YouTubers that hate this movie. I've seen reviews of people that praise it. And like I've seen literally people compare it to Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. And I'm like, yo, that's hella disrespectful. This movie is nowhere near a Rosemary's Baby or an Exorcist. Like it doesn't like and it's not like I've heard Rosemary's Baby and Exorcist a few times. It's not even like once. I've heard it a couple of times, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
it's not in the
like
same league. No,
not at all. Like Rosemary's Baby and Exorcist are freaking classics. This is
no,
mediocre
and
at best.
Hereditary. No, they're not in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
That's all. No.
but I enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Midsummer and The Witch. I can give it that, but that's not in high. That's not really praising it much.
How do people like Midsummer?
I'm
If it
telling
was
you,
an
either
hour shorter, maybe, you know. But
people love that Midsummer's one of those things. People love it or they hate it. They can't.
I just want to point out, as I said, I know you like horror and you like gory and you like B movies and cheap movies and
I
all
like
that kind of.
everything.
But so I want to point out that some people I know over the years that some people, oh, he just likes the kind of high budget gory. I've said this a bit earlier on, but I want. I didn't watch. I watched this film like Midsummer, open-minded, not because I'm expecting big special effects and all that CGI. Same as this, I like it for what it is, and if I'm giving my honest opinion, not as a superhero lover, but as a person who watches everything, and I'm gonna give it like, yes, it was decent, mediocre, as you say. It wasn't terrible. Very, it's just let down. And people who, I mean, everyone has their own opinion. So if you like, I mean, good for you if you like it. You know, I mean, the best to you. I
Dance
mean,
in a circle
it's
like that girl when she was dancing in Midsummer.
good.
She was spinning. I was like, dude, no. Like you had people drinking period blood. Like, come on, man.
Ah, stop it,
Come on, man.
stop
Come on.
it.
Come on. Move.
Oh no, no, no,
She
no.
was carrying a
That's
pie.
me. I'm out. No.
She was carrying a pie. It was horrible. But
The only bit I liked is when they jumped off the or dropped off the cliff. I was like,
hell
oh,
yeah, that
that's
was
a bit
like
rough.
that's the
Yeah,
only good that movie. Look, I was bored, right? Until that happened, and I was like, all right, I'm back in. Because at the beginning, I was like, yo, that's dark. I think her parents committed suicide or something. And I was like, yo, that's or somebody committed suicide at the beginning. And I was like, yo, that's dark. Okay, I'm in. And then she's like all whining and shit. Why don't you want to take me? Oh, I want to go. Ah. You know, like being like a whiny brat.
I can't remember it all that well.
The
Wasn't it
girl
like
was
some
like
3.5 hour film or
she was like
two
this
and a half hour?
whiny, depressive person, and it really got annoying after a while.
It's kind of vague now.
And then
It's
the
been a
cliff
while.
thing happens, and I'm like, all right, I'm all in. And then like I don't know, it just started to fall off again. They did a bad job at capitalizing on their breadcrumbs. They dropped breadcrumbs to keep you invested, but it just was bad, you know?
But
So
as I've got the as I've got like Movie Mesh a Facebook group, I've someone's posted stuff about Midsummer before and how it's the greatest film ever. And I'm like, and they're saying, "Don't you like it?" And I was like nearly attacked over it. I was like, "No, what do you mean? How do you not like that?" And you're like, "Well," I was like, "No, just kind of
I think
boring."
what's wrong with society is that when Hollywood and the elites tell them this is a masterpiece, they feel obligated to align themselves with it. That's just my opinion, because I've noticed that every movie that comes out where it's being praised as a masterpiece before it comes out, a lot of people just single file in line, just like yes, 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 yes. Like
Yeah,
they
sure.
really just go along
Follow
with
suit.
it. And you're just like,
Yeah.
dude, like, did you watch it from an objective standpoint and understand it for yourself? Like the Joker, for instance. Wait, whatever. He's right there. There you go. The Joker, for instance. A lot of people love the movie. I'm one of them. I love the movie. I think that that's one of the best movies that came out in 2019. But a lot of people hate the Joker because it's not the Joker, a true Joker. It's not the Joker that everybody grew up on. It's not a Joker from the comic books. It's its own thing. It's like a character study. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people didn't like the remake of Child's Play because it wasn't what they expected. You
No
know,
one ever likes remakes these days, even though if they are good. And that
I
was
don't know because
decent, Charles Lee.
they just trash it beforehand, and I'm just like, yo, watch the movie first, and then make your assumptions. Like, I don't like when people just like, yo, it's a remake, it's trash, I don't like it. Die, die, die. Like, even I thought that they were remaking Black Christmas, and I was like, the trailer looks terrible, but I'm not gonna say that it's garbage just because it's a remake. I'm gonna say it's garbage because it's garbage, right?
Yeah,
But you know, people have their own opinions. But we're diverting away from the thing,
I
the
know.
main thing. Saint Maud. All right, I think that this movie had a lot of potential. I think that it could have been great. It could have been excellent, but it just fell flat. I love the cinematography. The score was great. The characters were amazing. Maud and that bald-headed cancer chick, they were like very interesting. What Amanda? They were really interesting characters, and I really would have liked to see more banter between them two. I really would have. I thought it would have been better if Amanda from the beginning would have been rejecting of Maud's ideas, and the whole movie would have been Maud trying to bring her in. Because I felt like that conflict with them, they had like that argument that they had at the party. If it would have been a real back and forth, I felt like it would have been really intense, and that would have made a really good scene. And it,
Yeah.
like you could have built that up, like them talking back and forth, and them going back and forth, and then her, and then maybe she says like, "Okay, I'll try it," and then Maud walks up to her and is like, "This isn't you. This isn't what you want." And she's like, then she calls her out. You get what I'm saying? There was
Yeah.
no real build up for it.
That was an awkward scene, though. I did think that was a little. I was like, "Oh, that bitch told." You know what I mean? That was awkward. Like, oh, I can't believe she told, and in front of everyone. But I was going to say is, do you remember the bit where all these people came over and start putting that bag over her head? Then you know, it was just we're talking about the all the people at the party,
Oh, when they start calling her a saint, yeah,
but they put something over her head and all that.
yeah.
Did she imagine that, or did that really happen? Because that was kind of bad of them to do that, you know.
Oh no, I think they really did it because she said, "Oh, my little saint," and she was like taunting her, and they were like, "Ha
Yeah,
ha
but
ha ha ha," and they
you
start
know,
putting.
like that was kind of bad for them to do that. Hold on, that's a bit
They're a
messed
bunch
up.
of
But
drunk druggies, like you know, they're. It seems capable of them. If it's like it,
yeah,
that's the type of crowd that seems like they'll do that. I mean, it's just I don't know, man. Like it sucks when you're watching.
eccentric.
Yeah, it sucks when you're watching a movie because she's such an outsider that she doesn't understand when she's being the butt of a joke. I mean, she like ended up going in the bathroom with that guy, like just by looking at him across the room, and then just like he just dipped right afterwards, like, all right, then I'm out of here. I guess she thought that he was gonna sit down and talk to her afterwards or something, or be like, hey, so what's your name? You know, like you just left. Boom, I'm out of here. Like, you know, and I don't know, like another thing too, they never explained the purpose of her torturing herself.
Well, you know that back. I don't know the name of it. Do you remember back in
They
years
used to whip
ago
themselves.
when they used to whip themselves? It was kind of like. Do you remember she put the peanut? Oh, well, not peanuts. It was popcorn, uncooked popcorn seed sort of thing, and she kneeled on it. I think it was like some kind of a sacrifice thing. Like I'm sacrificing a part of me. like a penance or
I think
sacrificing
so
something,
too,
you
because
know,
I
that
think
kind of
people
thing.
say like they want to feel the pain, like I guess like feel the pain of Jesus, or I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but you know, like any little sin they have, like they're just kind of giving themselves or sacrificing something for him.
Yeah, 'cause
You
she
know,
burnt the shit
that
out
bit
of
when
her
she put
hand.
her foot in that shoe, and it showed her walking down the road. I was, oh God, that looked pretty. I mean, it was a good visual there, but even though you know it is nothing
Yeah, because
really,
you
and
see the
she's
bloody chucks,
walking.
and I like how
Oh,
the
oh,
camera started at her shoes first and showed the
yeah,
blood, and then they panned up to her and her little waddle because it hurt when she
yeah,
was walking. So there's little things, like I said, that's really good about this movie, but overall,
yeah, that was good.
just didn't do it. But what are your final
Uh,
thoughts about the movie before we get out of here?
exactly the same as yours. It's worth a watch for anyone who's interested in that thing. The payoff wasn't so good. It's not terrible. I mean, make up your own mind. Was it real? Was it not? I mean, I don't think it was. But again, I thought it was decent. Could have been so much better, but it wasn't. What do you think?
Me personally, like I said, it had all the elements, all the ingredients to be something really great,
Yeah,
and it
that
just
was.
couldn't deliver. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it was the way that they told the story or the way that they structured the story, but it didn't do it for me, and I was really disappointed. Now, before we get out of here, I'm going to give you a gem. There's one of the most interesting. It's a completely different movie. One of the most I seen one of the most intense realistic possession scenes I've ever seen in a movie ever in my life. And this movie is called Lose, Luz, Lose. There's a possession scene in that movie, and I swear that shit looks so creepy and realistic. This shit blew me away. Now the film as a whole, it didn't do it didn't deliver what I wanted it to, but it's a very artsy film. You honestly feel like you're watching something in like a theater, like you're watching a art like a play unfold in front of you. It's very artsy, right? But it's not my type of movie, but I appreciate it for what it is. But it has one of the most intense possession scenes I ever seen in my life. If I can find that scene alone and send it to you, I will.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, Lose,
Zoo,
Luz. It
lose,
has
L-U-Z.
yeah, it has
I'll figure it out. But
very
yeah, I'll check
intense
it out after
possession
this.
scene.
Actually, yeah. But again, I mean, I hope people enjoy it, and I'm good luck to. I like it when people enjoy films, no matter what. You know, if I don't, I'm hope you do. You know, but I don't understand. But I mean, thanks for having me on your show,
Ain't no problem.
your channel. I
You're always
enjoyed it.
welcome here.
We should do this again
Oh, for sure. Maybe I'll have
sometime.
you.
Anytime.
You could come to the Terror Dome. You know my Terror Dome videos or no?
No,
My Terror Dome videos is like hypothetical versus battles with horror
no.
characters.
I pretend to watch most of your videos. I
Ah,
don't.
douche. I'm gonna get
No,
Megatron. I'm gonna get Megatron to kick you.
no. He's outside the door now, waiting to do it. But again, yeah, thanks for having me on. We should do this again for something else
No,
next time. But
figure it out. But
cheers.
we'll both see a movie and then we'll be like, oh, we liked it, and we'll just break it down. But that's our
Want
video.
you to watch Predestination.
I'm gonna
I
do
will
it
do
today.
that.
Calm down. Calm your
Yeah.
tits. Calm your tits. I'm gonna do it today. But so that's our video. That's the freaking ending explained just for you guys. That is a complete breakdown of this movie. Tell us if you agree. Tell us if you disagree. But whatever it is, drop it in the comment section down below. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for entering the Cinema Chop Shop. You are now exiting. Adios.